That's it's just loading to YouTube. Then let me pause it here. That's all right. Then hit record. Yes. What's up? No problem. All right, amazing. So welcome, welcome. We are here in day. Okay, hold on. Should we get to go? Yes, we are here, day 5 of the Empowered Launch, celebrating Small Business Month and using the next 24 days. Well, we started October 1st and going for 24 days. And then it's gonna culminate in our anniversary at ACBN. So if you're in the Brampton area or willing to drive out on October the 25th, we would love to see you in person. We're going to be at the Marriott near 410 and Steeles or Steeles and Rutherford. So that we're leading up to that. So mark your calendar from 6 to 8 if you'd like to come in person, and also the daily workshops. Some of them are in person at the Brampton location at 350 Rutherford. So definitely, if you want to brainstorm in person, that is an option. But for the 24 days, we're touching on all the aspects of what it takes to operate your business effectively, whether you're just launching or fine-tuning your business idea or the business that you're already running. These are the things that we should be thinking of as a business owner, but typically we don't have time, especially to touch on each one. So we said, let's take the 24 days, it's Small Business Month in October, and touch on each one individually. And that way, the ones that might be weaker, we can strengthen it. Even the ones that we feel that are working well, at least we can review it. And things that we talked about over the past few days was, does your team understand the mission of the business? Does it understand your core values? So you might have this all in your head. We need to get it onto paper in some way and then use that as our guiding North Star to execute our business. So, as I mentioned, day 1, we talked about core values. Day 2, we talked about mission statement. Day 3, we talked about vision statement. And day 4, we talked about the big idea. And now, knowing what your core values are, knowing what your mission is, knowing how big you want your vision to be, and having your idea, we now need to find the people that can actually help make this idea a reality. We want to make sure that this idea is viable. So a bit of homework that we got yesterday from Chris Bent, who has been our facilitator thus far, the founder of Empowered Forex, and she's also a co-founder of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, is we need to narrow our focus with our big idea. Yes, even though we might feel everybody can buy your product or use your service, it's very difficult to market to everybody. So when we're thinking of, okay, we're solving this problem, we want to find what people have this problem and then where do we find them. So talking through customer segments is really important. And this is really the key exercise that we do with any of our clients. Anytime we're doing presentations and business model canvas workshops or just talking about business in general, even when it's one-on-one, it's asking, okay, who is that target client that you're going after? Because once you can define this person or this group of people, it makes it so much easier to market to them and to find them. And that's why I love LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, if you know the job title of your target market, you can literally search for that job title and then start to reach out and connect with those people on LinkedIn, sending them messages, sending them emails, be building relationships with your target market, which is so powerful. So all that to say, and I do want to make sure I'm not missing people, oops, in the waiting room. So we are going to be drilling down into customer segments, and just, I mean, I'm going to just quickly poll, and I'm curious if you like, actually, let's just raise your hand. So put a 1 in the chat if you think you know who your ideal client is, your gold client, because that is what we're going to work on today. I'm going to do an overview and explain it, but the exercise that we're going to go back and forth with is really, do we know who we're selling to? And then in next sessions, when we're talking about marketing and we're talking about different strategies to get the word out, we're going to find ways to find that person, but it all starts with who is that target, who is that goal. So I'm going to check the chat to see how many people feel they know who that target client is. Okay, excellent, excellent. And then what we're going to share after we go through kind of the overview of how we break down customer segments, we're going to ask you to share who that target person is, but then start to describe them. So customer segments, again, we need to know who is affected by the problem that your big idea is solving. So to effectively run a venture, you need to know as much information about who you're going to serve. So you want to think about the following aspects. So when we think about these characteristics of this target client. And I'll use the example with Detail Ignites. So for those that might know or those that might not, I run a company called Detail Ignites. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And update, I was able to complete my mission statement during this process. So the new mission is to lead the world in social enterprise detailing using eco-friendly innovation and youth entrepreneurship. Empowerment for now, but I did love Bernadette's suggestion that empowerment might be overused. So I'm actually at my parents' house today, and I know the thesaurus is in the bookshelf. So I'm gonna check the thesaurus for a better word than empowerment, but that still rings true. So being able to now know that we do car cleaning. So you start to think of, okay, over the past 16 years, we've been running this business. What are the trends that we've been seeing? So when it first started, I was like, okay, I need to make sales. I'm going to go door to door. And I just knocked on as many doors as I could. It used to be 100, 150 doors a day to hit my goal of $100 in sales. So it used to be very random, like, hey, just knocking on doors. And then I started to realize, hey, the doors that have a dirty car, the houses that have a dirty car in the driveway, we're more likely to want to have their car cleaned that day while I'm there. If the car is not there, there is no sale to be had. Maybe they think of me another day, but if I want to make sales that day, finding houses that have dirty cars in the driveway was where I was able to start to, I'll say, niche down. And then we started to realize when HR managers would call us to their office or a property manager would call us to their business location, and they now would introduce us to a group of people that have cars and a group of companies that have employees that drive cars. So we realized if we targeted the HR managers, we'd be able to now sell to one person that would introduce us to a broad amount of people and different companies all in one place. So the target became, okay, how do we define this HR manager? And like I said, with LinkedIn, we were able to then start using that job title to research and find HR managers, HR directors, assistant HR managers, the social committee manager, and we can then target and start to sell to them on LinkedIn. But it was only because we knew that was a target market that we could start going for. So we started drilling down, and I'll use each of these kind of topic headers as an explanation. So geographic, we want to know what area of the city are we looking at? Is it dense, like an urban area or suburban? We found that suburban was actually better because more people drive to work in Mississauga and Brampton than in downtown, the core. So you're saying, okay, Mississauga, Brampton, they are driving to work. And then the age range. What age are HR managers? Typically 30 to 50 is what we've been seeing. Gender, usually it's a female HR manager or HR director. Marital status, we weren't really sure if there was more married HR managers or singles, so we didn't really drill down on that. Their income levels, typically they're making 80 plus thousand a year. Their occupation, like I said, the HR manager. Their education, typically they've gone to college or university to then learn HR and become an HR manager. Ethnicity didn't really drill down. And then home ownership, again, typically I used to knock door to door. So I figured, okay, those that own a home would be good to target. Now, those two categories, the geographic and the demographic, is what we're going to focus on today as we're doing our exercise. But the psychographics and the behavioristics, that's what will come as you start to actually start selling, because you're going to realize what is the personality of people that buy. Yeah, we can guess at the beginning, and if you have a product or a service that you can start to think of, what type of lifestyle does a person live that wants to buy my product or service? What are their interests? Are there certain media habits that they have? Do they watch more TV, or have they cut the cable and watch more YouTube? Do they read more? Are they on blogs? Or are they listening to radio still in their car on AM or FM? And the technology used, like, are they on their smartphone a lot? Do they have an Apple Watch or a smartwatch? Things that you'll start to realize are a trend with the people that start to buy from you. And then the behavioristics is how they interact with you, yourself, and your business. So how are they using the product? What benefits were they seeing from the product that you can now start putting into your marketing? How often are they using it? Also, how often do they purchase? And again, how often do they use it? And their loyalty status. Are they an ambassador for what you're doing? Or do they just use it once and it's very transactional? You never see them again. So you want to start, yes, finding people that will buy from you, but you also want repeat sales and for them to talk and build up that word of mouth. So we're going to go to the next section that just gives an example. And so this is the exercise we're going to work on. So for the next 5 minutes, we'll use this as an example, but I want you to think of your own gold client. If you've already had clients and there was one client that uh like didn't argue about the price, was a dream to work with, start to think of the characteristics of that person or that organization or that business, and then use them as that customer avatar, that gold client. And if you have never sold the product yet, you want to start thinking of, okay, what would this person that I want to sell my product to, I want to envision what they look like, seem like. And so you don't have to know perfect what this person like. Again, with these examples, we're guessing as best as we can. And then as you start to operate and you start to ask more questions and you start to interact more with people, that's when you're going to actually figure out who your target market is, because you'll fine tune it with actual data. But for this example, it started talking through, okay, they're doing mental health therapy for CEOs. So this person is a 60-year-old male. They're married. They would have children. They would be located in Toronto. So some of the goals that they might have would be creating a legacy business, increasing the capabilities of his team, and scaling his business. Let's see, the values that they might have would be they value professional development, they providing clients for or providing value for his clients, and using white hat marketing techniques. So some books that they might read, like Good to Great or Think and Grow Rich, some magazines like Wired and Fast Company, and then some blogs that they might go to, conferences that they might attend, or gurus that they listen to. And then you start thinking of some of the pain points. What is the problem or pain that they're feeling that they feel they need your option as a solution? So if they're trying to scale their agency, they're having trouble finding training or managing all of his business responsibilities, this might make this Debo person a good candidate for going and seeking out mental health therapy. With the Detailing Nights example, if a person that has a dirty car, and the challenge would be that they do want it clean, but they don't have the time, or the kids are always getting it dirty, or they're at work and they don't have time to leave work just to go detail their car and come back. So all those pain points are our mobile convenience helped alleviate those pain points. So for today, the first section we're gonna touch on is the demographics. So you can give this person a name that you're thinking of. You want to think through the age range. You can nail it down to a specific age if you want, but you can give a range. But we do want it, we don't want the range too large. And then think through what gender they might be that would be interested in your product or service. You could think through, do you think that they'd be married or single? Would they have kids and their location? So we're gonna give it, let's see, 5 minutes so that you'd be able to think through that target client that you have and the age range, their gender. So we're just focusing on the demographics for now, and then we're gonna touch on the other sections shortly. And then the age, I mean, if they're married, age and location. And then, so for those that put a 1 in the chat, I will be checking in with you first. And then those that did not, we're going to see if we can pull out a target client. So we'll give it about 5 minutes. If you do have questions or you feel stuck, now's the best time to ask. I'm checking the chat. So if you want to put the question in the chat or you're able to unmute as we're working on this. But yeah, we'll give it 5 minutes and I'm going to check back.
Ryan, my
Yes.
target is actually organizations or smaller organizations. How would I go about doing this activity?
Right. So you're saying your target is organizations?
Yeah,
Where you almost need to think of who at the organization would be the best person to like make the decision to buy.
for sure.
So like, right, then you start want to think, okay, what would that job title be? Can you think of demographics for this type of person? But if it's the executive director, they have certain characteristics. If it's the HR manager, they have certain characteristics. Or if
Okay.
it's one of the staff under them,
All
you
right,
want
look
to
for
think of
me.
their characteristics.
Okay, faith.
Yeah, yeah. All right. And yeah, if anybody else has any questions specific to the avatar that they're creating, feel free to unmute and you can ask away. We have about three or so more minutes, but I'll check in to see if anybody needs more time. And then at the end, we were gonna share this blank version so that you can fill in the rest. But for today, we're just focusing on the demographic section. But I'll leave the example one up and see if it gives any help. And also I can put is this page better to leave up that shows like the geographic or demographics or the example? All right, so I'll leave this one up for now. And this is where, if you haven't made a sale yet, your homework will be to start talking to people. Chris Beth mentioned it yesterday. We can't have this big idea and we're not talking to people and really asking questions, letting them know what you're working on. Your phone is full of contacts that you can reach out and just let people know, like, hey, I'm working on this thing, love to ask you a couple questions, or what do you think about X, or do you know anybody that might be interested in that? And if a person says, yeah, I know somebody that might be interested, and they can start describing that person to you, you're going to get a bit of demographics about a person that's actually interested in your product. So she did talk about, hey, your parents or your best friend, or people that know you really well that will give you positive feedback but aren't your clients. We want to start getting demographics of people that would be your clients. So again, if anybody feels stuck, please do let me know. We're just focusing on the demographics section. So based on your business idea, you want to think through who would be a good target market to sell this product or service to. What would be their age range, their gender, possibly the marital status, the income levels, what occupation might they have, what education level might they have. If a certain ethnicity would be a better target market, you can mark that down. And do you think that the homeowners or renters might influence their buying decisions? So we'll give it 2 more minutes. And again, if you do have questions, now is the best time to ask. And we could help you brainstorm and see what would be a good customer segment. All right. I was gonna give it one more minute, or do you feel you need a bit more time, or is 1 minute good? If you need more time, just unmute and shout it out, or you can put two in the chat so I just know. I don't want to rush you. All right. And so if you're watching the replay, this is where you pause the video, take your time to start working on your target market, start with the demographics, and then you can move to the geographic to think of where in the city they might be. And as you move on, you're going to start building the psychographics and behavioristics. But the demographics will help you really zero in on where to start marketing and using your dollars effectively because you know you're going to know where to find these people with these characteristics. All right, so let me check in with. So, Anne, did you want to share? I saw you put a one in the chat. Did you want to share a bit about your business and who you feel like your target market is, and then some of their demographics?
Okay, Ryan, can you hear me? I'm double tasking. I'm at my mom's birthday and I'm jumping in at the same time. So I'm all things legal information. My target market is anybody that is self-representing. And their bracket ranges from, it's a wide gamut because
Oh,
I have young
did we lose
people.
you? It cut out there.
Oh, can you hear me? Oh, 1 second.
Or is that just me?
Can you hear me? I unmuted, Ryan. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Now I can
I
hear
can
you.
hear.
Okay, I think it's
Oh, it
my
might be just
headphones.
me
Yes,
then.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
yes, we
Okay.
can.
Okay, perfect. So my demographic markets are, like I said, is self-represented persons. That market ranges from youth right up to elderly persons.
Wait, I'm not hearing you. Is everybody else
Oh
hearing?
no, I think it could be my headphones.
Yes, I
I
can
don't know.
hear her.
I
We
can
I
hear
can
her
hear her
too.
clearly.
I can hear her.
Oh, Ryan, is it you? Maybe
It might
you
just be
can't hear
you,
me?
Ryan.
No, it's spinning, Ryan. Can you guys hear me again? It just spin. Can y'all hear me?
Now I
I
can
can
hear you
hear you.
well.
Okay, so like I said, I'll just quickly say that I'm
Oh
I have
my
my
goodness,
bachelor
now
in
it's
law.
gone. Is it my
Now it's
internet?
really? Is it?
I
Can
think it's my
anybody?
internet because
Is it
everybody
your
else can hear
internet?
me.
Can everybody else hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can
I think
hear
everybody
you.
else can
Yes,
hear
we
All
me.
can
right,
hear
Ryan,
you.
it could be you. It could
It's
be
my.
Ryan's internet. Okay,
Wait, hold
so
on. I'm gonna switch to
oh yeah, I
my
think it could be
phone.
Brian's internet acting up. So, like I said, I have my bachelor in law. All things legal information, advocacy, mediations, contracts, documents. My market ranges from youth right up to elderly, persons that are not employed. So the income bracket would range from 10,000 because I'm dealing with young people, right up to could be 80,000, right? So I have a wide gamut of income when it comes to my market and persons who I work with. So I do advocacy for them. Legal information, guys, is so powerful because once you get that incorrect information about your rights, it could be work. Whatever it is that you're doing, generally speaking, if they misguide you, mislead you, give you incorrect documents to sign, then you're going to the left opposed to the right. Or, you could be starting at A information, but they miss out the information in between, and now you're at Z. So that is my demographic market, that is my income market. Um, and how do we advertise? Yes, I do word of mouth. I get a lot of referral from people after I do work because I am my brand. So I make sure anybody I help advocate for, I do a good job. I tell them the good, bad, and the ugly, so that they're fully aware of everything that they need to do and they have to do in terms of their um, either their product or their service, or if they were fired illegally. Like I had a young person who was um, fired illegally from a huge company, food company, I would not say, but we won. We went to mediation. We won. I told her exactly what to do. She got her back pay. And the most important thing that we all have to understand when we're doing any type of market, you know, be your brand, understand your brand, and don't change it too much for anybody. Yes, sometimes we get clients that will argue with price, that will say because you're Afrocentric that you're less than. But I let them know I'm like a black person and look at me as a Karen. Because at the end of the day, they have to learn to respect your craft, respect who you are, because you're well trained. You went to school and you're well trained for whatever it is you're doing. So if you walk in comfort of that, you're good. In terms of my market demographics, I'm trying to think of everything Ryan was talking about. I think I touched all the areas of what
Okay.
Ryan was referring to. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Cool, cool. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah.
I don't think I can
And
sit
thank you
down
for
because
sharing
you're
that,
gonna tell
Anne.
me to do
Thank
So
you.
also, who did I see
Right?
next? Jacqueline put a 1 in the
Come on,
chat.
Mama.
Did you want to share what you've come up with for the demographics
I'm
of
still
your
Hey,
working
it's
on
target
so
it.
client?
hot, Mama. Whew. I have to sit here.
I'm
My
still
goodness.
I'm
Need
still
help,
working on
sister?
it, so I don't think I should go.
How are you, my love?
All right, no problem.
How are you,
Let me see
Mama? It's your
who.
birthday, Mama.
CK.
Your birthday.
Anne needs to mute.
Outside.
Oh, and
It's nice weather, huh? Nice weather, my love.
thank you. Yeah, CK, did you want to share a bit of the demographics you come up with for your target client?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's coming through
Yes.
great.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, so I just got started. I think I named my person Viola. And so she would be approximately 35 years old to 65 years old of age. Most likely living in the GTA. I'm thinking of demographics because like it's more, like it's more diverse, I guess, in the GTA than other areas. So I might have more success marketing in the GTA area, but I know that is a big area, but I'm in Durham, so I guess there's a lot more melanated folks in Durham as opposed to other cities. Um, let's see, married or single doesn't really matter, but that person would be most likely working full time, either has children or does not have children, but maybe they're heavily career oriented and they are busy as a result of that. They're very connected to, like, she's very connected to her culture and values representation. So she would need a fast and easy way to access culturally relevant greeting cards that, if an event were to arise in her family, she can just quickly grab a card from our variety box. So that's kind of where I was going with it. That's what I have so far.
All right, excellent. Thank you for sharing. That is a great, because now you know where to start finding that person. But I do want to see who else has come up with their target client. So I'll check in with Ingrid. I think Ingrid also put a 1 in the chat. Yes. So Ingrid, did you want to share what you come up with for the demographics of your
Yeah.
target client?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I didn't break it down as wonderful as I think it's CJ that just spoke. Thank you, CJ, for that. But I've been running my business, senior care, for over 15 years. So now I am branching in a different area, and obviously my demographics is seniors. So I'm gonna put seniors, anybody over 55, man, woman. The income level, I am not really too concerned with because I now run programs and events, and I try to tap into areas where the lower income person can get some service. I know how to break that down. Education, occupation and education is not really important to me. The main factor of my business is, in fact, senior. ethnicity. My focus has always been the Afro-Caribbean senior, and I'm going to say slash South Asians, because a lot of South Asians do come from the Caribbean and they do link in to my service. I would find the Chinese culture, which comes out of Jamaica as well, they are a very tricky group to get, but I have no problems connecting with South Asians. What I have done in the past, though, when the market was a lot easier, so many people have grouped themselves into senior care now, so the market has become far more competitive. But what you said initially, I never really had to go find my clients in the past. They were just referred to me. So now is why I'm looking at marketing, and I have kind of tested things that I used to do in the past, like drop in flyers, blah, 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 blah. But based on what you said, I think I'm now going to go to the condos, the real estate, and actually go to the superintendents. It's too much work to go one-on-one. So I'm going to go to,
Right, right. Makes
yeah,
sense.
the person that, and the realtors, those people that are really tapped into groups. And I've even tried going into the seniors home, even though that's tricky because I do respite with them and I prefer them not to go into a senior home. So I'm just kind of debating with that area a little bit.
Okay, excellent. And
Okay.
yeah, being able to narrow that down, you're gonna be able to find them on LinkedIn, so you don't have to go to every
Mhm.
office. You can just find realtors, you know. But
Yes.
yeah, thanks for sharing that. And so the senior care, I would be curious to ask you who usually pays for the senior care.
My clients are all private clients. I do help them with tapping into because everybody's financial budget as really is strained. So I do help them tap into, after the 15 years, help them tap into what they can get for the government, and then I will give them that backup. So I will work within a budget. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I'll say, is it the person that is it the senior themselves or the person that cares for the senior that usually pays?
You know what? It's both. If I'm finding usually the seniors, especially our Afro-Caribbean senior, they prefer to pay. They like to hold the control. So I've done it both ways. Only when they get severe Alzheimer's do their caregiver take over. But the majority of time, I get them when they're still doing their own banking and finances.
Okay, that's great to know because then, yeah, you'd be able to target them directly and be able to get your clients that way. So that's awesome. But the one to
Yeah.
many, I like your approach with that. That's great. And who else do I see? So thanks for sharing that, Ingrid. Abdul Chris, did you want to share as well what you've come up with today for your target market demographics?
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, it's coming through great.
Okay, mine is quite short. I mean, my targets are usually young couples with kids. Doesn't matter which area of the city it is or which demographic, because basically the other ones who need my services, I mean the financial services. So the young couples with kids, married, husband and wife. So that's basically my target.
And can you tell a bit about what it is that you do?
Well, the products are just basically insurance and investments, and then basically all types of insurance. My company, of course, is with Primerica, so our targets are usually that the families, so young families.
Okay, solid. So you're looking at younger families that are
Yes.
married with kids.
Yes.
Is there a certain area of the city that you usually target?
Because our office is in Vaughan, so I usually target Brampton, Mississauga area, Vaughan, Woodbridge, yeah. But anywhere else, yeah, because that way we
Okay,
can be able to
perfect.
bring them over to our office. Yes.
And so now finding those like Facebook groups that have young families starting out, maybe groups that talk about supporting, those with new kids or just newly married, helps you zero in on where to spend those marketing dollars. So yeah, it's great that you know kind of who your target is.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Who
you.
do I see next? Thanks for sharing that, Adu. Lawrence, did you
Thank
want
you.
to share? Did you start thinking of who that target client would be?
Hi, Ryan. Um, I haven't started out, so I'm learning from everybody else. So I'm just enjoying the ride.
Oh, okay, nice. Have you thought of what the business might be? Do you have the business idea?
Just like Abdul, but with a different MGA. Like I'm trying to get involved in the financial services, and yes, I'm writing the licenses and everything. Yeah,
Excellent, excellent. Okay, you're in the right place. So as you finish up that, when you're ready to launch, definitely let us know.
please. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. And who did I miss? Oh, Bernadette. Hey, Bernadette, did you want to? I know you've been pretty good at identifying that target client you're going for. Were you able to put a bit of demographic? Oh, so I'm not sure. Bernadette might be multitasking, which is all good. All right. So I know hold on. Yes, this has been coming in and out. So let me just come out of this one so I can finish up here. So I was going to share the blank version of the customer segments so that you could work through like thinking through the pains, goals, a bit more of the story of your target client. And then from there, so for tomorrow, let me just make sure what is the topic for tomorrow so we can kind of prepare in advance. As you'll notice, if you're on my WhatsApp, we've been posting every day, every day. Okay, so let me just check. Oh, okay, so that was Saturday. Sorry. Where is the information for tomorrow? There you go. So today was the target market. Tomorrow will be the features and benefits of your product or service. So this is where now that we know that target market we're going for. Oh, where is my camera? Oh, it's still on. All right. So as we know, my camera was off. The target market that we're going for, we want to start messaging how we're going to entice that person to now buy your product or service. So as I send through the blank version as best you can, start to bullet point things about your target market. And then tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the features and benefits of your product or solution that can now entice them to buy from you. Because whatever their problem is, right now, they're solving it another way. So we have to entice them with how you are going to bring the solution in a different way to entice them to now switch, or if it's a new idea, how to encourage them to do something new that they haven't been doing before. So just before we close out, open floor if there was any specific questions that you may have. Otherwise, I'll give you back your afternoon, but the floor is open if you did have any additional questions.
You shared where did you share the template?
So I'm just gonna create a PDF of it now and I'm gonna email it. So probably be 5-10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I really want to sit down and work with it. Thank you.
Valid. You know what? As we are on right now, I am going to do it right now. So hold on, I'll stop the recording so that you're not catching me just doing work.